All right, everyone, welcome. Today, we're doing a deep dive into one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, one of the riskiest tools you'll have in your managerial arsenal, dynamic pricing. Now, this isn't just about fiddling with numbers on a website. This is a serious look at microeconomic strategy, at consumer psychology, and really, at the very nature of creating value. So let's jump right in.
Here's how we're going to break it all down today. First, we'll start with a real-world price puzzle to get our heads in the game. Then we'll unpack the economic mechanics behind it. After that, we'll dive into 3 distinct strategic options you can use, look at the critical art of managing risk, and we'll wrap it all up with an actionable playbook for you.
So let's ground this whole discussion in a real scenario. This isn't just some theory in a textbook, right? It's a puzzle that you see every single day, whether you're booking a flight or a hotel room. And understanding this puzzle is really the first step to mastering pricing as a strategy.
As a future manager, this is the kind of question that should keep you up at night. Think about it. The product is identical. It's the same room, same bed, same everything. And the cost to the hotel to clean it and get it ready, that's fixed. So what on earth is going on that justifies a price jump of this size? We're not talking about a tiny little increase here. The price is more than tripled.
Okay, now look at this chart. This is where the story really starts to unfold. You can see the numbers right there. We go from 700,000 rupiah on a regular weekday all the way up to 2.5 million during the Eid holiday. That's a 257% price increase. A good manager doesn't see 3 different prices here. No, they see 3 entirely different markets for the exact same room. You've got your weekday business traveler, your weekend getaway couple, and your peak season holiday family. And each of those markets has a completely different willingness to pay.
So let's build on that. This price shifting isn't just chaos, it's a deliberate system, and that system is what we call dynamic pricing. We're moving way beyond simple cost-plus thinking here into something much more sophisticated. So let's pop the hood and see what makes this engine run.
Here's the textbook definition, and I want you to pay attention because every word here is critical for a manager. Real-time tells you that you need data and systems that can react instantly. Demand, well, that's the main driver. Competitor pricing reminds you that you don't operate in a bubble. And booking windows, that is how far in advance someone books, that's a huge clue about how price-sensitive your customer is.
In this slide right here, this is the absolute key takeaway for you as a manager. This shows the basic economic reality for any business with high fixed costs, a hotel, an airline, you name it. The extra cost of serving one more customer, cleaning one more room, is tiny. It's practically zero. So your pricing strategy has to be disconnected from your costs. Its only job is to get the most revenue possible from a perishable asset. Because an empty hotel room tonight is revenue you can never, ever get back.
And boom, here it is. This is the core economic theory in one sentence. For that hotel, on a regular Tuesday, the pool of potential customers is pretty small. But during a major holiday, millions of people suddenly want to travel. That huge surge in desire and willingness to pay is what we economists call a rightward shift of the demand curve. The hotel isn't just making up prices, it's responding to a brand new market reality. Finding that new, higher sweet spot, that equilibrium, where its limited supply meets this massive new demand. Your job as a manager is to find that point.
Okay, so this strategy isn't just one single thing. It's a really sophisticated practice that economists have broken down into 3 distinct degrees of what we call price discrimination. Now, don't get hung up on the word discrimination. Just think of these as 3 different levels of precision in your toolkit for slicing up a market to capture value.
We've got first degree, which is also known as perfect price discrimination. Then there's second degree, which usually involves things like bundling. And finally, third degree, which is by far the most common, and it's all about segmenting your market. Let's dig into each one.
Okay, first degree. This is basically the holy grail of pricing. It's this theoretical ideal where you know the absolute maximum price every single customer is willing to pay, and you charge them exactly that. A live auction is probably the closest thing we get to this in the real world, right? People literally bid up to their max. Online, companies are trying to get closer with AI and huge data sets, maybe offering a personalized discount right at checkout. But for most of us, it's more of a benchmark than a practical strategy.
Now, second degree is way more practical, and it's really clever. An offer like stay 3 nights, pay for 2 is a perfect example. The genius of this is that customers sort themselves. The business traveler who absolutely has to be in town for one specific night, they can't use that offer. But the family on a budget with a flexible schedule, they jump on it, and in doing so, they reveal that they're price sensitive. You've just created 2 different price points and let your customers choose, capturing revenue you would have totally missed otherwise.
And finally, we have the workhorse of dynamic pricing. This is the one you see everywhere all the time. The whole idea is that you can find specific, observable traits of a group that tell you something about what they're willing to pay.
So, let's look at the why behind this. The key concept here is something called price elasticity of demand. Basically, groups like students and seniors who are often on tighter budgets are very sensitive to price. They're elastic. A small price change can make a big difference in their decision to buy. But a business traveler, where the company is footing the bill, they're inelastic. They don't care as much about the price. So by offering discounts to your elastic groups, students, seniors, maybe locals with an ID card, you pull them into the market without having to drop the price for everyone. It's surgical.
But, and this is a really big but, all of this strategic power comes with a ton of risk. When customers find out they pay different prices for what they think is the exact same thing, they feel cheated. They feel it's unfair. And that feeling is absolutely toxic for your brand. This is where pricing strategy becomes an art form, the art of building fences.
This is a manager's worst nightmare. This one customer complaint, when it gets blasted all over social media and review sites, can do real, lasting damage to your brand and to customer loyalty. The problem isn't the price difference itself. It's the perception of unfairness. So how do you manage that perception?
You build fences. A fence is just a rule or a condition that separates your customer groups and gives a clear, logical reason for the price difference. It's the tool you use to turn that feeling of, "that's not fair," into an understanding of, "oh, I see, that makes sense."
And this is a perfect example of a fence in action. Let's say that angry customer complains. A smart manager can say, "I understand, but you and the other guest actually bought two different products. He bought a non-refundable room 3 months ago, taking a risk for a lower price. You bought a fully flexible room just yesterday, paying a little more for the security of being able to cancel. All of a sudden, it's not the same product anymore, is it? The fence just completely justified the price difference and kept things feeling fair."
Okay, let's wrap this all up and put it into a playbook you can actually use. These are the core ideas you need to remember when you're the one in the driver's seat making these pricing decisions.
First, price is not about covering your costs. It's a strategic tool to capture the value your customer perceives. Second, you have to segment your customers based on their willingness to pay. That's the foundation. Third, use tools like bundling and targeted discounts to let customers sort themselves into different price tiers. And finally, and this is the most critical one, always build clear, logical fences. Your ability to justify a price difference is just as important as your ability to create one in the first place.
So, there you have it. You understand the mechanics, you understand the strategy. This is an incredibly powerful toolkit that can seriously boost your company's profitability, but it demands careful, ethical thinking. The ultimate challenge for you as a manager isn't if you can do this, but how you choose to do it. How will you build value without destroying trust? That's the real question.